Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, this is an utterly ridiculous season. Last season, only 2 teams topped the league at any point in the campaign. Good Christ, Liverpool went top in mid-August, and that's where they stayed until late July? I mean, come on. You'd assume this season was going to be more of the same. No, instead 9. Yes, 9 different teams have gone top of the league this season. 9 teams have had that little ego boost, that endorphin rush from being perched top of the English pyramid. 9 different teams being talked up in the media as having a credible title shot this season. But now that Man City have woken up to go on a 13-game winning streak, now that Pep Guardiola is just refusing to let go of top spot, I'm just going to take a look at the 8 other table toppers and just pinpoint when exactly their credible title challenge disappeared, officially petered out, and it now lies face down in a nearby ditch. Right, let's go. Arsenal, game week 11 versus Tottenham. Yeah, the first team to go top of the league after shoving 3 goals down Scott Parker's throat on the opening weekend of the season, with Willian actually looking productive with 3 assists. Yes, 3. Since then, he's just shown the mobility and work rate of a Spanish omelette, but still, it was a brilliant way to kick off the season. Arsenal fans were stuck on the couch singing, "We've got our Arsenal back," but can we all just remember the tweet I stuck out immediately after the game, while the rest of the world were frothing from the armpit over Mikel Arteta's style of football? Well, look who was right. Good Christ, the fans were waxing over Willian, laughing at Chelsea for dumping him on their porch like a sack of wet doorknobs. This guy was calling Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang unstoppable. Wonder what he was saying when 2 months later, the Gabonese was scoring -1 goals at home to Burnley. Anyway, it didn't take long for their title challenge to crumble like a sweaty Jemmy Dodger. I'm gonna go for December 6th, losing 2-0 in the North London derby. Now maybe I'm being too kind considering this was their 6th league defeat of the season, but this confirmed it. This rubber stamped it, officially confirming they weren't gonna win the league. Sure, the fans could have fooled themselves after the defeats to Villa and Wolves that they could put together a late season run during a season where every other title rival was slipping on banana skins every 6 minutes, but still, after this game they were 15th in the league and crucially 11 points behind Spurs at the top of the league. There was no coming back from this. Everton, game week 21 versus Newcastle. Listen, fair play. The fact Carlo Ancelotti managed to keep Everton's title hopes alive until January, the man almost deserves a knighthood for that alone. David Moyes is held up as an Everton god, and even then, in his 11 years in charge, this big club's title challenge was usually over by Halloween. Bit embarrassing then for an historic club with 9 league titles to their name. Listen, sure there were slip-ups, like losing 3 games in a row in November, but still. And yes, Moyes winning at Goodison Park on New Year's Day, that was just another punch to their title hopes. But I think emphatically the final nail in this coffin was that putrid 2-0 defeat at home to Newcastle last week. Steve Bruce's Newcastle team are set up to defend, so managing to somehow concede 2 goals at home to them. It's a bit like boxing a rubbish bin and somehow ending up with a broken nose. Look at this, 95.8% predicted Everton were going to win this game. Had they won, they'd have been 8 points by Man City, sure, but crucially with a game in hand. But losing it, oh no, stuck at 8th, 11 points off the top, that was the day their title hopes officially died a quick but painful death. Good Christ, Jordan Pickford's dreams of a first ever Premier League title were officially ruined by a bunch of Geordies. God, he must have gone home that night and beat his head against the toilet bowl. Southampton, game week 14 versus Man City. It's mental to think a team managed to lose 9-0 for the 2nd season running actually found themselves top. Yes, top of the league in early November. Yeah, that 2-0 home win over Newcastle was supposed to be the final piece of Southampton's recovery and salvation, with Ralph Hasenhüttl finally banishing the nightmares and scars of that 9-0 reverse against Leicester a year earlier, right? Now, 3 months later they're doing the exact same thing, just utter nonsense. I think we can all agree that Southampton's faint hopes of a first title in 32 years are currently stuck to the foot of the sewer with 1 win in 9 games. But I think it was the week before Christmas when the last flickering flame of their title challenge was finally quenched. They were playing Man City at home and they were above them in the league. If they'd just beaten them, Christ above, they'd have sent a statement of intent across the country. They'd have gone 3rd in the league, just 4 points off Liverpool at the top. But no, Raheem Sterling scores the only goal, City leapfrogged them, and they remain 9th in the table and 7 points off the top. Leicester, game week 21 versus Leeds. Imagine being told back in 2016 that Leicester City would still be top of the league 5 years later. You'd assume they'd created an unstoppable dynasty as English top dogs, right? Yeah, not quite, but still, it was a nice little nostalgic throwback when they beat Chelsea in mid-January to go back to the top of the league. But I think it's safe to say the dream is dead now. They drew 1-1 at Goodison Park in their next game, but then worst of all, they lost 3-1 at home to Leeds. A Leeds team that already stuck 4 past at Ellen Road. Yeah, Patrick Bamford once again morphed from wafer-thin candlestick into elite Premier League striker that afternoon. Lads, Leicester had actually taken the lead through Harvey Barnes. Had they just held on, they'd have been just 2 points off Man City at the top. But because they lost, 5 points off the pace and having played a game more, leaving Leicester fans to probably take out their voodoo dolls of Jose Perez and chuck them in the fireplace. Chelsea, game week 15 versus Arsenal. For all the money spent by Chelsea in the summer and the fact that Liverpool, the current champions, are now 24 points worse off than they were last season, it's quite damning that Chelsea's title hopes lasted for just 15 games. Good Christ, no wonder Frank Lampard was chucked in the bin. This is the most open the title race has been for years. All it took was just for one consistent team to just go and put a run together and win the thing. And with the big money arrivals from Germany Germany and Holland in the summer, half the Chelsea fan base were licking their armpits in the shower. Listen, Chelsea were top of the league in December 5th, and all it took was 21 days for Frank Lampard to completely rip their title hopes in half. There were back-to-back losses at Everton and Wolves, but then a credible 3-0 home win over West Ham 4 days before Christmas, so then a Boxing Day trip to a woefully out-of-form Arsenal to take on a bunch of children. If they'd won at the Emirates, something Burnley were able to do, they'd have squeezed the gap with Liverpool to just 4 points, and with the Reds failing to beat West Brom at home that weekend, oh, there'd have been a renewed hope, right? And maybe, just maybe, Lampard would still be in a job with Thomas Tuchel just eating turkey dinosaurs on the couch. But no, 8th in the league, 7 points off the top. No wonder Lampard was angry after that. That was the day their title hopes died. Tottenham game week 20 versus Liverpool. Yeah, Tottenham are another team who've been top of the league this season, and lads, I believed it. I thought this was Jose Mourinho back to his best, about to finally win the Premier League again. Rise them up, they stuck 6 past Man United and 5 past Southampton. They beat Arsenal, Man City, ground out a draw at Stamford Bridge. Things were looking good. But no, I think last week was the moment where officially we all accepted Mourinho was not getting his 4th Premier League title win. Listen, Liverpool at home was a must-win game. If they had beaten the Reds, they'd have crawled to within just 5 points of Man City at the top, with once again Mourinho and Pep going head-to-head in a title battle. That was an exciting narrative, right? But losing that game, it was the final nail in their coffin. It put them 8 points adrift of the title, and yeah, it's official. They're not winning it this season. So a home defeat to Liverpool officially ended it, but it was probably the reverse game at Anfield the week before Christmas which officially broke their brain. This is a game they nearly won. Imagine the shockwaves that would have been sent across Europe. Jose Mourinho announcing he was back with yet another big win at Anfield. Because do you remember the one with Chelsea in 2014, the day of Steven Gerrard's slip? That set the tone that Mourinho wasn't too far off winning his 3rd Premier League title. It was the hint, the reminder that this man was about to eat the Premier League for breakfast, on the cusp of greatness once again. But no, then Roberto Firmino heads to the last gasp winner, and since then, just 2 wins in 8 league games, including 4 more defeats. And that's it. Liverpool game week 22 versus Brighton. You know what? You could have said Liverpool tossed away their title hopes after losing home to Burnley, but I'm sorry. There's a team who went on ridiculous winning streaks last season, and they recently just beat Tottenham and West Ham inside a week. It probably wouldn't have been clever to write them off, but if they just beaten Brighton at home, they would be 4 points off top spot and very much alive in the title race. But they didn't. They limply crashed to a 1-0 defeat, meaning that if City win their game in hand, then Liverpool are suddenly 10 points. Yes, 10 points off the pace. Good Christ, this time last year, everyone thought them losing 3-0 to Watford was a shock. Imagine telling anyone back then that fast forward a year and they would just be 2 points separating this team from West Ham and David Moyes. Just utterly mental. I'm sorry, but it's ridiculous. I've been saying all season long that Graham Potter is nothing more than a football hipster in a raincoat. Good Christ, for a solid 6 months, I've been accusing Chris Hamill of drinking too much shampoo in the shower, considering he's prepared to die on a hill for this man, and yet Jurgen Klopp gets utterly outdone by Potter. But then again, that's what you get for making a middle-aged James Milner play about 3 games in a week. This fella's been playing week in, week out Premier League football since 2002. How have his legs not fallen off? On Christmas Day, Liverpool were top of the league off the back of sticking 7 past Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure about 95% of the world's population just assumed they were going to have the league sewn up by February. But no. Their pattern of results since that day have utterly chewed their chances to shreds. 2 wins in 8 league games. Good Christ. Man United game week 20 versus Sheffield United. Okay, I know some Man United fans are going to be questioning how many brain cells are left in my skull, considering they just took 9 past Southampton. Listen, yes, you do still have an outside chance of winning the league, but that's all it is, an outside chance. Man City have just won 13 games in a row, and sure, some Man United fans questioned whether or not that goalless draw at Anfield was actually 2 points dropped. Considering both Burnley and Brighton have since won at that ground, I'm going to say yes, but the real kick in the teeth, the one that handed the initiative to City, was losing home to Sheffield United 2 weeks ago. This was the moment they had to at least crawl back to the top of the league, despite City had played a game less, and they lost. And now they're 3 points behind with 1 more game played. Lads, it does not look good. How do you wind up losing at home to Sheffield United? If you're going to go for top of the league, you can't lose to bottom of the league. Just, no, how? How did this actually happen? Let's have in the comments, what do you think? Alright, have I written any of these teams off too early? Do you think there's still a chance? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.